echo of my shout drowned out, lost in the sea. It's harder to know which way you should go when you're pleasing everybody. I was looking for a way out for some time now. But this is my revival. I won't be discouraged. Wherever my heart is, I won't keep it guarded. This is my survival. I don't plan on stopping. My spirit's never dropping. This is my revival. This is my revival. Revival, revival. This is my revival. Revival, revival. Somehow I was here, but I was missing. It's crazy how for so long I was so afraid. What a way to find out what I'm made of. To try and believe it's easy to be behind keys in a screen with a take on everybody. Somehow I was here, but I was missing. Well, this is my revival. I won't be discouraged. Wherever my heart is, I won't keep it guarded. This is my survival. I don't plan on stopping.
What's up?
Morgan, there's
How's it going?
look at you. Oh my God, I'm sitting here with Morgan. Morgan, great to have you here.
I feel very honored to be here. How are you today?
Morgan, I have to tell you, last night I went to the Basement East because that John Prine event thing week, and
Yeah.
the green room, especially John's family and the Old Boy Records people are there, are talking during sound check, and they are raving about their favorite performance from the night prior at the Country Hall of Fame, and they are all
my God.
talking about you, Morgan,
Oh my God.
and some
I feel like I'm living in a dream.
and some didn't even know who you were, and I'm like just like sitting in the back, and some didn't even know about you before, but I can tell you that you blew the John Prine family and record label brains out, and I can tell you like because I was there.
Wow. That's a high honor. I mean, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and I don't have any family in the music business. So I just grew up like always wanting to sing. That was like all I wanted to do forever. I even posted like, yes, Sunday night I sang at the Country Music Hall of Fame honoring John Prine and his family, which if you had told me that sentence a year ago, I would have thought you're crazy. If you told me that as a boy who grew up here, whose first job was at Tootsie's, which is a bar downtown, like as a bartender, if you told me that at some point I'd sing a John Prine song, that I would sing the last love song he wrote to his wife Fiona
Yeah.
while being introduced by Fiona on stage as a queer person at the Country Music Hall of Fame, I would have been like, you are coming to me from another dimension and I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
for a singer and a songwriter, John Prine is the beacon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said this that night, and I do mean it, and I'm sure you have questions, but you'll find that I'll never stop talking. I believe you will sing the songs you're meant to sing, and I believe I was meant to sing that John Prine song. So the fact that it moved the family means the most to me, and the fact that people are hearing about me, that sounds great. I'm a huge fan of myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was like a Wikipedia filling in the gaps. I was, he was in Broadway, right? And then I would like step out. But anyway, but Morgan, like, but you talk about John Prine. You're an incredible singer-songwriter yourself. What is it about Prine that is so beloved that regardless of age, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of where you come from, what is it about him, Morgan, that everybody loves John Prine?
Well, I was reading, I think even Dylan talks about Prine, and I think that, listen, I'm a fool. I'm either a fool or I'm a magician. I don't know, but I'm still naive enough to believe that a song has healing properties, and that a song, what's coming to my mind right now is Imagine by John Lennon. Like, a song can heal people's hearts, and especially in these trying times, I still believe that a song has the power to heal and transform. And I think that I'm going to just talk about the song I sang of his, which is called Boundless Love.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about boundless love. You know, the lyric is surround me with your boundless love. It feels like the simplest. This is what he does so brilliantly. He takes sometimes simple words that we would use in conversation, and he turns it into something that has such deep meaning. The last lyric in the song, like right before the final song, is you surround me with your boundless love. You dumbfound me. Like he says, you dumbfound me with your boundless love. And I'm just like, well, first of all, I'm very in love right now. So that really resonates with me. But I think whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're, whatever color of the rainbow you think you are, you surround me, you dumbfound me with your boundless love is the world needs more of it. So John may be gone from this earth, but what I witnessed the other night was a host of legendary artists. And I just felt lucky to stand on that stage and sing it. So I feel very honored that they were moved. That's all I'll say.
Morgan, one of the things I love about you is that, your music, your incredible art aside, you always, just like now, you leave people thinking. Every time I see you, whether it's at City Winery or now or at Soho House, you always say things that are like, man, like, I don't even want to say motivational speaker because that's almost demeaning, but you really make you introspect into yourself. It's great. And at Soho House, at the album release show, you said something like, sometimes I wish things would have happened when I was younger, kind of quicker, but I am glad life led me to this moment right here, right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I think about the songs like Beacon, from this album and the title of the album. Beacon, I don't think would have happened if I hadn't moved home and I hadn't sat at the piano that I grew up on. You know what I mean? It's too many factors have led to Beacon, and too many factors that you can't plan for. I had to leave home. I had to go on my journey, but I had to come back, and I had to sit after touring, touring just as the pandemic was, ending. I don't know, are we ended? Who even knows? But it's like, just as we were reopening and touring was happening, I hit the road, and I was on the road, for 6 months. And 6 months after sitting at home for 2 years was very strange on the mind and body. You know what I mean? And then I come back to a mostly empty house here in Nashville, the place I haven't lived for 18 years. And I sit at a piano that I grew up learning how to play. And the first song that popped out of that piano after coming home from tour was Beacon.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like that,
Wow.
You can't make up, You can't write a script, I think, that interesting. It was just like, I had to go on the journey, and I had to come back home, and I had to feel lost just enough to be like, maybe sometimes you're lost and sometimes you're the person helping somebody not feel so lost. You know what I mean? And that's Beacon. So I feel like I wouldn't have written the album I wrote if I hadn't been on the journey I've been on.
So in other words, Morgan, because I know Paul McCartney said Let It Be came at him at like 3 a.m. and he just went and like did it in 5 minutes. There's, as an artist at your level, there's some songs that you can do all the writing rounds you want, all the sessions, but when they come, they just come.
I'm a student of that forever. I don't believe that I don't believe you control creativity. I believe you get to show up for it, and some days I feel like showing up and some days I don't, but I will show up because you never know what could possibly come. I remember writing Wonder, and I didn't want to show up that day. You know what I mean? I was like, this is going back to my last album, but Wonder is still an important song for me and in my life. And I could honestly, I probably one day will write a book about songs that I was scared to show up for, that if I hadn't shown up for, they would never come. And my whole life has been made by songs like that.
I mean, it's amazing. Songs like Getting Older in a Modern Time or We Could Be, I already have them singing like in my shower. It's ridiculous. They're so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
So it's gonna, this is an inspired album. And moving back to Tennessee, Morgan, I'm curious about your experience because, especially, as a queer person, because it is such a creatively beautiful city, as we know our community, but also the politics is like just upside down completely, right? But I love that you came. I guess the question is it hard coming in, but also kind of like leading by example? Because I know a lot of our allies have kind of moved out or they've like just thrown their arms up in the air. How has that experience been for you?
I would say I get it. I get why you'd want to leave. I get why you'd want to run away, because I did. I couldn't have survived as an 18-year-old coming to terms with my queerness at the time that I did. 10 years ago, a manager told me I'll never make it in the music business in Nashville as an openly gay person. That was 10 years ago. And even though I can shout out all the wonderful things that have changed and the beautiful beacons of TJ Osborne and these moments of like, there's definitely a change afoot. Change implies struggle, implies conflict, implies that it's not actually that easy for most people. And still in this state, we're fighting. So I moved back here, and somebody joked with me. They were like, I only see you at the Capitol. And I'm like, well, that's because I moved back here and they removed the right for women to choose what to do with their body. Then they started going for trans healthcare. And then they're going, it's like, and then the shooting at Covenant, and we're like, we need gun reform. And so every single time I'm showing up, because not because I'm fearless, but because I am afraid, but I also have found my voice through living my own life. And I'm not going to be afraid to show up and be loud, especially in these moments, and Pretend Rainbow was a perfect prayer and a perfect wish. And I sung it for a group of moms who formed an organization out from the Covenant shooting experience. I sang Pretend Rainbow at this fundraiser for them. And, it's become bigger than me. I sang it at the inauguration for our newest, most progressive mayor. I'm not an activist. Maybe people brand themselves as an artist / activist. I am an artist. I'm a human.
Yeah.
I am a human being who grew up in this town and believes that this town can be better than it is. So I found myself maybe scared some days, but also I'm loud and you can't make me shut up. So that's where I am.
Such gratitude that you are here in Nashville back, Morgan. Wow. Just like my heart's full. And, My Revival, which is, that great single of your new album, the video is great as well. But the message, so powerful, yet so simple. Just the fact that light always comes after midnight, after adversity, growth comes. Your life is inspiring in many ways, Morgan. But when you look back and you look at yourself and you look at where you are today in October of 2023, what is something that you're just really proud that you've overcome, in the past, few years that have brought you to this great place you are spiritually?
I think that I've realized that, at the end, we're all, gonna be dust, and we're all gonna get older. That's just a fact of life. Like, we're all gonna age. But if I'm gonna be a good lover and I'm gonna be a good friend and I'm gonna be a good human, it's gonna mean that I'm gonna be messy and I'm gonna be flawed and I'm gonna be beautiful. So I think I thought that My Revival was about this big, bombastic, earth-shattering moment, and instead it feels like a calmness and a, loving my body for the body that it is right now, not some version of perfect I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that feels like a huge shift in my life, coming from somebody who I struggled with anorexia. I struggled with body dysmorphia. I struggled with feeling like I was deserving to be alive, especially growing up here in Nashville.
Sure.
So it feels very full circle, almost like a whole new circle. Feels like a whole new adventure to love myself and allow myself to be.
Amazing, Morgan. I think you're gonna play a song for us, so I wanna conserve your voice. But let me ask you about this. Let me ask you about your single "Home" really quickly, Morgan, because that single, when this song came out in 2018, it was everywhere. I mean, I remember listening to it in like a Walgreens once at checkout in Miami when I was still living there. Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish said that it inspired, her song "Bad Guy." Like, it was just everywhere. Yeah, you did it famously with the Walk the Moon guys. I'm just curious, as an artist, when Walk the Moon kind of like went their separate ways. When that happens, with your bandmates that are your friends, kind of like, do you see that like a little bit with sadness? Is it like, because I'm not an artist, is it like when you meet friends that are a couple and they break up and you're like, oh man, that's weird? How do you like, look at that from the artist perspective?
It's tough. I think that's a great question. I am human, and I want my people around always, and I can't speak for anyone else, and like, what would make a band, sort of take their own time. But I do know that, like my album Beacon, this album was inspired by the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is, if you don't know it, it's Joseph Campbell, this theory that all these great stories follow this arc. And where you start, you actually sort of like end up back in the same place, but you're not the same because you went through this thing. And I think that sometimes people have to be a part of people's lives for a season, and then maybe you need to go your own way, and maybe you come back together, but really it's about the journey, and I love the guys in Walk the Moon, and I know that they're on their journey, and maybe it'll return them back home. I don't know, but either way, when they're back home, they'll be new again. So that's the truth.
Perfect. Beautifully said, Morgan. Well, thank you for your time. Yeah, if you don't mind taking us away with a song, that'll be awesome.
Let's do it. Okay, sometimes life is about when you fall apart and when you pull yourself back up. This is my revival, and thanks for having me.
There and through I don't know more better than that. There, that comes coming.
I was looking for a way out. The only one that I can see is a long way down. Listening to the echo of my shout drowned out. Lost in the sea, it's hard to know which way you should go when you're pleasing everybody. I was looking for a way out for some time now. Well, this is my revival. I won't be discouraged. Wherever my heart is, I will keep it guarded. This is my survival. I don't plan on stopping. My spirit's never dropping. This is my revival. This is my revival. Also, my dog will sing along, so just be prepared. Somehow I was here, but I was missing. It's crazy half a song, I was so afraid. Run away to find out what I'm made of. To try and believe it's easy to be buried keys in a screen with a take on everybody. Somehow I was here, but I was missing. Well, this is my revival, and I won't be discouraged. Wherever my heart is, I will keep it guarded. This is my survival. I don't plan on stopping. My spirit's never dropping. This is my revival. This is my revival. This is my revival. purposeful. At the top until you fall, thinking that you had it all, wishing you could run away. And it'll come and it'll go, and just when you never know, trust me, I've been there. I know that this is my revival. I was born to do this. However, my hope is I'll let you crush it. This is my revival. I won't be discouraged. Wherever my heart is, I will keep it guarded. This is my survival. I don't plan on stopping. My spirit's never dropping. This is my revival. This is my revival. This is my revival. Yes, this is my revival. Revival. I was looking for a way out. The only one that I can see is a long way down. Listen to the echo of my shout. Well, this is my revival.
Jesus Christ. Wow, Morgan. My chills have chills. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks for having me. I'm
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Morgan. You take care and thanks. Thanks.